Hi, everybody. Thanks for waiting on me. I was voting. It's Super Tuesday and it's a Super Truth Tuesday. So my buddy Satoshi Sean's going to be here to join me right after this. You guys, please give us a like and share the video really quick. I'll be right back with Satoshi Sean and a whole bunch of truth. Hey, Sean, how are you? You look handsome. You've shaved and you got a nice shirt on.
Thank you very
You're all
much.
dressed up for Super Tuesday. I love it.
I like your shirt too. It's very
Thank you. I like
right.
my shirt too, my puffy sleeve.
Your blouse. It's very nice.
My sweatshirt blouse.
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, it's a cool nice sweatshirt. And then your arms with the puffiness and the ruffles. And then I was like, wait, that's not a sweatshirt. What is that?
yeah. It is, though. Yeah, it's a bougie sweatshirt.
Oh, okay.
It's fancy.
Hey, everybody. Good to see everyone.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I need to switch over on my comments and say hi to everybody. Oh, yeah. F the Fed, Mark Weems, I am that I am. Oh, gosh, I meant to have I am on yesterday. And every time my kid gets sick, I get like thrown in a loop and everything goes out the door. I just need to get it on the books. So I apologize. I am. We need to really have you on. Trini's here. Jim Montgomery's here. Crypto Mojo. JB Rants. The Rand. Mark Weems. I think I said Tom. F. Taxes. And the IRS. They always like it when I say that. Not the comments, but, the actual three-letter agencies. Oh, JB. That's hilarious. I love it. Yep. Wake up and join the fight. I love it. And I'm glad you're here, JB. That's so sweet.
Yeah, JB, we were actually talking about you specifically about that the other day. It was something about that he wasn't into crypto. And yeah.
But he's here for the fight. And we know crypto is one of the tools for that.
Yeah.
Gloria's here too. Good to see you, Gloria. I'm still rolling back through. I'm sorry I was so late, you guys. Sean was ready and waiting on me, and I was running behind. I took my son. So, we're homeschooling. So I wanted my son to go with me to vote. We weren't able to vote this morning before school. And so we went afterwards, and it kind of threw everything off. So I apologize to everybody. But I am thankful that you guys are all here. I want to make sure I'm acknowledging everybody that's here. Trini's here too. And Jason Moore. Good to see you guys. Okay, so a couple of things. It is Super Tuesday. I had one thought when I went to vote because there was this statement and I put it on the thumbnail of this. And at first I was like, oh, they're trying to cheat again. They're trying to keep independents from being able to change their mind at the time of vote. But because now I've thought about it more. So let me show you the statement. I'm sorry. I'm like telling you guys this and not sharing.
Are you talking about the thumbnail?
Yeah. Are you able to see it?
Yeah, I looked at the thumbnail while I was waiting for you. And
I'm sorry.
It was
Again
a little bit odd. And then I thought about it too, and I was like, well, that makes sense.
I think it's a good thing. Now that I processed it.
Yeah.
At first I was like, wait a minute, registered independent voter options. Here are your options if you're an independent voter.
It's interesting you say that because my childhood hero, who is super woke, Luke Skywalker, who fought against the dark side and is now 100% over on the dark side. Mm-hmm. He specifically went and voted he is ultra liberal. And he went and voted Republican primary for Haley against Trump.
How is that possible? If he's registered, well, he's not in Oklahoma, or he's
exactly. That's why I think you're right. Is a good idea because he posted on Instagram, I voted 4 more years of an not orange White House or something like that. So I think that this kind of stops that. It's like you said, people who voted used to have to be landowners. Which makes, a lot of sense because
you've got to have a vested interest. Like you shouldn't be allowed to vote on something that you have no vested interest in. Let me read this real quick just for everybody that is watching. So it says registered independent voter options. If you are a registered independent voter, you may request to vote a Democratic, which I know makes you crazy,
Yeah, it's a
Democrat
country ballot. Yeah.
ballot. The Democratic Party will permit registered voters as designated independents to vote in the primary elections or runoffs. So primary and runoff. I think that's the significance. Today is the primary. It's Super Tuesday. Please tell the precinct official if you would like to vote a Democratic. I'm sorry, I know that makes your skin crawl every time I say that. Ballot. Registered independent voters may not vote. Ooh, both Republican or Libertarian.
Yeah.
So those Republican and Libertarian parties do not permit voters designated as independent to vote in the primary elections or the runoff primary elections. So they're talking about primary elections in both cases. And if you think about that, that's like, well, this is our club,
Oh yeah, it's just their primary. It's their party. So
just their
yeah,
party. And that is the only people that should have a vote on that.
yeah.
Like, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. But you don't get a vote
You
in
don't
my party if
get
you're
pulled
an
over
independent.
and they're all telling the cops, "Hey, I'm a taxpayer. I pay your salary," but you don't. If you don't own property, you
Right.
don't pay the policeman's salary. You know what I mean? You pay
Mhm.
federal taxes, fine. If you pay, in Texas especially, really high, what's it called, sales tax, you don't pay the policeman's salary. Only homeowners pay. For schools, you don't pay for that. So it is, and everyone says. I used to say that before I owned a home. Like, I pay taxes, I pay for the schools, and I know you don't. You know, um, you live there. I mean, you can go before the city council and say what you want, but you don't pay them.
Okay, so let me share this experience as well, because I want to walk through the whole experience so people can process for themselves and say, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I'm going to tell you what my opinion is, but I want everybody to have their own experience with this. So I saw the thumbnail with all the pins. So as a Democrat, you can you can for more than once. I'm not sure what vote for more than once. I'm not sure what it means.
Use different pens. But
Okay.
the
So
Democratic thing is getting on my nerves really bad.
I know, I'm sorry, but that's how they have it
looks
written.
like a Democratic ballot, and if you vote Republican or Libertarian, it's not Democratic. There's no longer Democratic if you do that. It's
Right.
but they're not trying anymore. It's so much worse now that where they should like grammatically say Democrat, they don't say anymore.
Well, they probably weren't homeschooled.
The Democratic run cities. No, they're Democrat run cities. It's a
Democrat
party.
run
Yeah.
cities, right.
They don't. That's something I think we should try to do is say constitutional republic or
Right.
you know
Use the term constitutional republic more, for
yeah
sure. That would be very empowering. I think if we are a constitutional republic. I pledge allegiance to the constitutional republic. Um, whatever we need to change or do, we need to be more vocal with all of that. But so when I went in, they typically in the years prior, I would walk up and they'd say, the first thing they'd say to me is, they didn't ask me for this time, they asked me for my ID, which was unusual. The first thing they asked me for previously, talk about previously, I'd walk up and they'd say Republican or Democrat. And then they'd drag a book over and they'd start looking through my name. And then they just put a check mark by my name. Or I think I did my initials or something. I can't remember. Yeah, Tom, I'm with you. I'm the pledge allegiance to the flag with no gold fringe.
I was going to ask you about that because Trump did his speech in front of 4 flags with gold fringe.
Well, I think it's the end of it because when he did that yesterday, well, I want to stay on this when we can talk about that. Okay. This time I walk in and he says, can I have your ID? I give him my ID and then he's looking it up, which he didn't know what book well, he did. Then he said Republican or Democrat or what ballot would you like or something like that. And I said Republican. And so then he pulled the book open and he wrote a little R by my name. They've never written an R by my name before.
All that's so big brothery.
Well, But is it tracking who's coming in and they were registered, whatever, but they're asking for this or that ballot? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it tracking who is requesting for what ballot? And then, oh, yes, she's in the Republican book because she was registered Republican. But then she also asked for the Republican ballot. And then I sign my name. And then I go over and get to vote on the primary, which I still think it's so weird that so many of them, but so all of them are still listed. And I was like, didn't they,
Drop out.
all bow out and say they were supporting Trump? And I think I was talking to Westwood, and he made the differentiation that they suspended their campaigns.
Yeah. But once they're
Um,
registered, I guess they're registered.
yeah, so that at any time they could jump back in. It's just suspended. And I guess that's why they are still on the primary ballot. But I really think, the more I think about this, I think that this is good. This statute that Republicans and Libertarians probably got this statute passed and said, um, you know what? You don't claim to be part of our party, so you don't get to have a say
Yeah.
in our party.
Yeah. I can understand it. I don't know, because primaries overall are odd. Like when I mean, you got to look back, and we're going to vote for a president of our union, and that is like a federal thing. That's us. That's the government. That's us choosing our government. But a party system, that's like you said, it's a club. It's a what's it called? Like a fraternal organization. It's
Mhm.
not a governing body, a government body. So why are all these government resources and all this? It's like it shouldn't be involved in the. I mean, it should like it's involved in the voting process because you're deciding, but you're just decide. Your club is deciding who to put out there in the real election. So I think the only thing that government, once again, just big government versus small government,
Mhm.
the only thing the government should be involved in is the election, not in the primaries. Nothing
Not
to
the
do with that.
primaries.
I think that like the parties should fund it themselves. They should pay for it. They should set everything up. They should do the logistics. They should have their own workers. They shouldn't have like uh, election volunteers or election. That shows the power and the intertwining that they have in the government. They have nothing to do with the government. They're a club that people join because
Right.
they're
This
like-minded.
is where people, like, have such misconceptions about. I was having lunch with, some of the moms today, and one of the moms was like, "Oh, she has a podcast and whatever," and I was like, "Oh god, please don't tell them. They're gonna kick me out of the homeschool club." And, but they said, she said, so then they were asking me about crypto and some of the stuff, and I was telling them, a lot of things we talk about on the Truth Tuesdays with, the states, going to legal tender, gold and silver legal tender, and then what Texas is doing with the digital backed, gosh, I'm so excited today. I'm just like wound up. I'm so wound up. I'm sorry. Um, so I was telling them about all that stuff, and they had a lot of really great questions. They were very excited about hearing, that there was some hope, to this, because what they're seeing is all this fear porn from, mainstream media and the normies and whatever. And I'm like, it's going to be hard, but we're moving to hard money, sound money that you can exchange peer to peer and control not just the money or your IP, your intellectual property of things you think of, things you create, but your name, image, and likeness will be part of that, your identity. That so many people, we've had our identity stolen. And I don't know if that has something to do with, earlier today, I guess I was at school and you're not allowed to be on your phone. But when I was coming home, I noticed that there was, somebody, and I tweeted it out. There was a big blackout on, all um, the social media sites,
Mhm.
other than Twitter was not out, and Telegram was not down, is what I saw. But it said like AT&T was down, and with that went, um, Facebook and Instagram and all those
Yeah,
normal
I
things.
thought those were out today. I didn't.
Mhm.
I slept through it. I slept most of the days.
You slept through the outage.
I went to sleep like at 9 a.m. So yeah.
Some states are allowed cross-party voting in primaries, like New Hampshire. Remember Nikki
Yeah.
Haley's Democrat.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
and that prevents that kind of stuff
I said,
because
Luke Skywalker voted.
right, that's like a game strategy. Hey, we all believe in democracy. We're all Democrats. Let's go kill
Which you
the
shouldn't have anyone that's a Democrat trying to tell in the
right.
Republican club. It's a club. Um, it's a
A
party.
private,
Yeah.
what is it called? A PMA, a private
Something.
something
Yeah.
association? Member association.
It's like the Masons, the Elks. Yeah, like my grandfather belonged to like 4 lodges when I remember when I was a kid. The Mooses and the Elks, and it was just where
Mises.
went and hung out, and but they had like political power, they had pull, but they were organizations, and if they're private organizations, which those are, they're private organizations. Um, they're just politically focused, which I don't think I don't think really either one of well, the GOP you can kind of I think make an argument, but I don't think Democrat Party should be around it. I think once they did the Bernie Sanders thing years and years ago, that's like that's over. And there's been tons of political parties that have come and gone,
Mhm,
over the years because they didn't have because where we're at now is what our founding fathers was warned us about that we
mhm.
get down to just 2 parties and then it's not a real thing. They control everything because they just can collude. Um, which
But do
interesting
you
idea. We should ask Greg about um, how the government busts up monopolies if they
mhm.
could do that for 2 political parties, or
Oh, interesting.
because you can argue and say, oh, there's the Libertarian Party and there's all these other parties, but remember, John and me
But
were
the
friends.
government shouldn't
John,
be able to
John
bust
would
up anything that we the people choose.
But John would tell me that, like, I can't get on. They won't let me debate. They won't let me have a spot. They won't because they make these rules. The 2 parties make rules so that they are literally a monopoly, and that
Yeah,
they can't have any more competition.
the
That they
right and the
control the
left wing
election.
of the bird.
Which, if John would have been allowed to just go to those debates, so much other stuff. Assange may not be in jail. So many things could have happened because people would be made aware. Me and you and people in the chat, especially you, no offense, but you think that normies know way more than they know.
So
Um,
I have something to share with you.
there's so many people that have no idea about stuff, and when you tell them or they see it, like a show or a podcast, they're like,
Yeah,
"Hey, did you know that this guy
yeah.
Assange was like, yeah? Hey, did
But
you?"
the truth is coming out more and more. Like, my somebody sent me a video where Lady Gaga's like, "Yeah, so if I have a penis, my fans don't care, and neither do I." And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Huh?" So
But
as I told
my
the
point is that if the political parties were not if they didn't have the monopolizing power, that if John or libertarians or the Green Party or whoever could actually, if it was a fair thing, they could all get on and talk, they could all get on and
Mhm,
debate, it would be a completely different country because
right.
people would hear things they never hear.
Okay, that leads into what we were talking about or I was trying to fill you in really quick before, and we need to, hit on that because I think that is really important because it affects freedom of speech. So there is this polarization. We're all seeing it. It was blacks against the whites with well, first it was men against women, I guess, Me Too. Then they were doing Black Lives Matter, all this. Well, now they're the young girl that was killed by the immigrant, the violent I don't know if he's from El Salvador. I can't remember.
He's
Um,
I
in Atlanta.
think it was El Salvador. Yeah, it was. I was going to say Venezuela, but I don't think it's Venezuela. It's the other one.
So, Senator or what's his name? I'm sorry. Gosh. Mayorkas is trying to get something done where it's illegal to use the term illegal immigrant. And when they made the announcement about, they came out and spoke, the mayor of this town talked about, oh, they didn't talk about, we're sad that this girl died. They were concerned that there would be hate focused on a community
Yeah.
that didn't deserve it. I'm like, you're so out of touch. It's unbelievable. But once again, that's an extreme to wake people up. So you were asking me about what's going on in Oklahoma. The same thing. And in the end times, Christians will be persecuted. So get ready, folks. There is, in Oklahoma, there was I guess, a gay child. I don't know if he's a child or if he was an adult. It was like 17 or 18 who, I believe, committed suicide. I don't have all the details because I felt like it was a distraction and part of the game or whatever. And so I try not to put my energy into those things. But at the same time, you do have to like listen to what they're telling the normies, because you have to be able to like see the game that's being played in front of you. And so in different pockets of the country, the game's a little bit different. In Oklahoma, it's called the Bible Belt. So where are they going to try to divide people? So they're on Reddit, which is super libtard, way left leaning. They have never let me post a single comment on Reddit ever. My comments always get shut down. I'm not allowed to contribute on Reddit. So there was this article and it came out and said that, Christians aren't being very Christian because this one guy who claims to be a Christian made a comment and said, about the person dying, that this is Oklahoma and it's mostly Christian and we don't want that kind of filth there.
Well, the
Which is
last
inappropriate to talk about any life in that way.
One of the primaries, if you remember, it was MSNBC, and there was two of the anchors. One of them was the crazy black lady, and another one, and they talked about how this state doesn't matter because it's mostly Christian, that the rest of the country is like 50% Christian, and this state was 65% Christian. So, and she started bashing it, and how it didn't matter that they voted for, that Trump won over DeSantis and everyone else.
Wow.
But she went off, and all the bankers are like, yeah. So it is. I mean, we are there. But Andrew Tate says something very, very apropos, and he used to be a Christian. He said that Christianity is dead because there is no fear anymore, and fear has been taken out of all religions except for being a Muslim.
Yeah, it's been Joel Osteen.
That's why people don't talk about Muslims. They're scared to talk about it, but they'll bash Christians. It used to be that Christians weren't violent, but they would wield every power they had, political power. They would mobilize. If there was a movie coming out, they had at least, they would run it past, like 2 or 3 head of the Catholic Church, head of the Baptist, whatever, and they'd say, hey, we don't like this, we don't like that. And we think, even if we could get a PG rating, we think it should be R because of this. They would take it out. They had power and authority because they would exercise their power and authority. And if you don't use your power, you lose it. That's just the way it is. And Tate talks about how because Christians don't exercise their power, and they haven't, they've basically now everyone kind of craps on them, and they're the easy person to attack. And with the world becoming such a bully, all the people who are like, oh, I hate bullies, so I'm going to kick your ass because I hate bullies. They're the bullies. And
oh no, I got bullied for so I tried to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, and I sent him an offer and waited, went back. He sends me a message and he says, it's all sold. And then it's still up. And then my husband sent him an offer. He told him it's sold. It's all sold. And I said, well, then you should take your listing down. And he said, why? Because you MAGA people think that you get whatever you want. You wanted to get a good deal, and I told you can't have it. So he went and looked at my profile and then refused to sell me stuff because of my profile.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I don't want your
which
dirty.
literally that's discrimination. That's like religious discrimination, which is not allowed. It's not allowed.
Well,
Um,
it happens on Facebook.
if he has a business, then he's like guilty of that. But like the fact that people think that's okay. Like
Mhm.
if I was selling something and it was a devil worshiper, I won't like it. But I mean, I'd be like, well, they're
I'm
not.
not having a conversation with them
I've
about
got to,
their.
yeah, I've got to follow the rules.
He walked in the store and bought a whatever and didn't tell you hail Satan or whatever, and then he walks out. You just don't even know that about him.
But
Like,
even
where's
if I had a store and he came in, he's like, "Hail Satan! Have you heard the good news about Satan?" I'd be like, "No, I don't think it is good news. Yeah,
yeah,
that'll
I
be
disagree.
1894. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
God bless you." You know what I mean?
yeah.
But if we're outside and he comes up and he's like, "Hey, we're trying," I was like, "No, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you."
Mm.
But when it comes to like a business, there are laws, but the laws are only real if they're enforced and if you go along with it. And those
Right,
kind of
without
laws are not
enforcement,
enforced
nothing
for
happens.
other people.
Mhm.
Now, if I wanted to not sell to the Satanist, I would probably get in trouble, but that guy probably wouldn't get in trouble for that.
This is you're absolutely right, and I am 4 AM brings up another great point. So, I'm talking with the ladies at lunch and all this, and a couple of them are like, "Do you know somebody said today's a voting day?" But I haven't heard anywhere. So, I guess all on normie news, they're just not bringing it up. Nope. What vote? I don't know there's a vote today. No, no vote. Nope. Nope. So that's part of the strategy too is don't bring attention to the Super Tuesday. Don't so nobody shows up for Super Tuesday. Um, except for those that are really passionate about it and no. And usually your voting polls places are open till at least 7 o'clock p.m. your local time zone. And then if you are in line by that time, they mostly have to let you vote, is my understanding. So if you're hearing this now or you just got home and you know you can go vote. I think things are different. We pulled up and there is a big red, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I don't know if it was a Camaro or it was like a vintage, those ones that they look like alike. Um, it's an SS. So that's probably Camaro. It was an SS, whatever, big ass muscle car. And then as we walked out, I could see all the stickers on the back, Marine Corps. Um, what did he have? What else did he have? I think he had a Punisher on there. He had because Cannon's like, what's a Punisher? Um, something else. And he's sitting like right at the front door. Like, but he's got his car parked where it's like he can see everybody coming in and everybody going out. And he's kind of blocking the thing. It's really cool. I don't know, you guys. I think we're right there.
The person was 16, by the way.
No, it wasn't a Chevelle, right? The SS? Isn't that Camaro?
It's Camaro
Or
SS.
is that a Chevy SS? Oh, I think
Well,
Tom's right.
SS means super sport. So there's a couple different ones, but
Okay.
that's the most
Anyway,
famous
it
one
was
is Camaro
badass.
SS. I'm trying to find this
I
Oklahoma
liked
thing
stickers.
that was bugging me. It was something crazy, and then they're like, "It was in Oklahoma." Um, okay, well, before we go over to my channel, I want to say you said something that you kind of just mentioned it, but that they're trying to make it illegal to call them illegal
Yeah.
immigrants. How
Yeah.
is that a
Mayorkas is
thing?
trying to get something passed or pitch in a bill to somebody, which he's not in Congress, but I guess he's behind it or something.
How is that? Uh, that's the most
They're saying that's hate
free
speech.
speech. Right.
And
That's good.
but
Great.
hate speech is not illegal.
Wonderful. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
I've
I'm with
known that
you.
since I was a child. I remember being in kindergarten and knowing that if you let crazy people talk,
Yeah.
and I didn't know about free speech, I didn't know what it was, but I knew that if you let bad people talk, they will hang themselves. Because I
That would
remember
be nice.
I was in kindergarten. I was 5 years old, and I was talking to this racist old guy, and I was asking him just questions like, oh, why should I hate the movie? And why are black people dead? He was just talking crazy stuff. My in-laws, I remember my ex's mom, and she was talking about, oh, they're different. They're biologically different. Black people are. I was like, how? What do you mean? She goes, well, they smell different. You know that. Everyone.
What?
It's because of their genetic makeup.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, well, what did you smell like? And then I was like, you do know that's Afro Sheen and
It's
cocoa butter.
coconut oil, you
It's
moron.
because they get ashy
For
skin.
their hair.
Use that, and literally Afro Sheen smelled like it's this weird chemical thing, which people don't really use it much anymore. But in the early '80s, everyone used it.
Yeah, we
So
never
I was like,
used any of
that's
that
what you
on me.
smell. And she was like, really? Really? I remember this girl. I still love this girl. I'm still friends with her. But she was really pretty. And I didn't really know her in junior high. But in high school, she was gorgeous, but she was very stupid. But then I learned that she wasn't stupid. She pretended to be stupid so people would like her. Um, but
Nicole Brown Simpson or Smith did
Smith,
that.
something. So me and
It's on her
me and this guy are talking,
documentary.
and she's looking like this blank look. And we're talking about going to the lake. And, a friend of mine was, I think he was Panamanian, but he was very dark black. And she was like, you can swim? And we were like, what? She goes, I didn't think black people could swim. But
Insane.
my family told me they couldn't swim. So we just started talking. And she was literally just asking him questions. And he was telling her, no, but stuff that if she wouldn't have had the freedom to talk, you know, she would have never known. And that I realized when I was 5 that that's how it perpetuates. Behind closed doors, you tell your kids and you whatever, but if they're not allowed to talk, they can never be corrected. They can never have facts. Which
Brilliant.
now,
So political correctness hid the hate that is amongst the ignorant.
yeah, and now facts are attacked where facts don't matter or
Yeah.
actually bad.
But just before we go, I know we're going to jump over to your channel. Bix has been sharing. There's been some announcements on Theta that some things are turned on or changing. You guys go watch his channel. And where is it? Where's the big announcement? I thought I had it. Mint has cut silver production. No, it was today. So it has to be one of these. Oh, here it is. Edge Cloud. Theta announcement, Edge Cloud for mobile, unleashing AI computing on the 3.9 billion Android devices available. So think about all those devices sharing bandwidth. So if there's an outage, it all goes to Theta. Everybody can share their bandwidth, and we have new. We don't need no stinking satellites. We got that. Theta is a software download. We're going from 10K nodes to who knows how many. He says 3.9 billion with a click of a mouse. He loves the click of a mouse. Hang on tight, my friends. So, and at the same time, Litecoin, let's see. And notice the Theta and Theta Fuel. So right now in Fortnite, it's all about the tornado, the fire tornado, just so you guys know, keep you up on Fortnite. Victoria Newland resigned. That Westwood's been talking about her forever. She's a very evil person.
Oh,
And
a friend of mine told me before we jump over also that
yeah,
because of the Trump the Supreme Court ruling was like 9-0,
yeah.
and everyone's talking about it's because of the conservative stacked Supreme Court.
What?
Literally, it's 9-0, but Biden called for Ruth Bader Ginsburg to retire.
She's dead.
That's why it's funny.
He hangs out with a lot of dead people.
That's why it's funny.
He may be on the other side. Also, speaking of mobile wallets, the big Theta announcement, and then Litecoin leads MWebs, which MWeb is the privacy feature, you guys. First mobile wallet transaction elevates Litecoin as the best peer-to-peer electronic cash. This is huge. This is huge.
To me, it's the main thing about Litecoin. Is the biggest thing is the
privacy.
Privacy, and that they're not on the fringe like Monero. or any other privacy coins. They're putting that, and they're still one of the big three. Also, like when you said a 15% pullback, which if you have noticed, it's been going up quite a bit. So 50% pullback is kind of cool.
Hello, Fever Flav. Good to see you. Sorry, I've been very looking at all this. Yes. Okay, let's jump over to Sean's channel and see what he has to talk about today on Truth Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Please give us a like, share the video, and then meet us over on Satoshi Sean's channel on YouTube. Where's my out?